My name is Kevin Oppermann. I'm the owner of Highland Spring Farm in the town of Dunn, just outside of Madison, Wisconsin. We raise Scottish Highland cattle and sell to area farmers markets, restaurants, and at our farm store. Today we are at the Stoneman family farm, which was my grandparents' farm. My great-grandparents moved here in 1918, and my grandfather was born here. Over the last 10 years, we've converted about 100 acres of cropland into permanent pasture, which we rotationally graze to feed our cattle.
I didn't realize, so this is your grandparents'
This is my grandparents,
farm.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep. And they milked about 25 brown Swiss cows in there, so it's got all the old stanchions and milk house and everything. And the building behind us was the horse barn when they used to have horses before tractors and even when they had tractors. So there's a lot of history here, and the house has been added onto 20 times, and so nothing makes sense. And there's 2 kitchens in the house because when my mom was growing up, her grandparents lived on one half, on what we call the apartment side, and then my mom's family lived on the other side. And so my grandfather and great-grandfather farmed together their entire lives. And my grandpa retired from milking cows when he turned 75, which is just mind-blowing to me that someone would be able to milk cows till they're 75 years old and put up thousands of small square bales and everything. We put up small square bales for like 3 years and immediately quit. So, yeah.
I don't know how old you are, but you got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go before we're 75. Yeah, I'm old, but I'm not that old. So farming skipped a generation for us. I grew up outside of Milwaukee in a very normal suburb, but I always had a desire to farm. So I had all the toy tractors when I was little, and my mother says that her carpets were never as clean as when I wanted to get my tractors out to plant fields in our carpets and whatnot. But I just couldn't figure out how I wanted to farm, or how I'd be able to farm. We didn't have thousands of acres of land and millions of dollars worth of equipment. But we did have a sweet corn business. And so when my grandparents, or when I graduated high school, my grandparents turned over the sweet corn business to me. And that was my summer job during college. And I still couldn't quite figure it out. So I went to work for a healthcare software company for a few years. And it was during that time that I really started to get interested in where food comes from and started researching things. And so we had 35 acres of pasture and woods that the dairy cows used to be in, and we were mowing it down, and it was a never-ending battle against buckthorn and honeysuckle and burdock. And so finally we decided to get a couple cows, and so we bought 2 cows and 2 calves. And with the idea of raising one for our family and selling the other one to pay for everything. And then my little hobby got completely out of control, and we now have about 45 mama cows and a herd size of about 150 to 200 at a given time, which we finish about 60 to 70 steers a year for our beef sales. We have one person who works for us, Anna, who is fantastic. She came to UW to go to school. She's from the greater Boston area, so certainly not farmland or have a farm background, but she has a strong interest in cattle and always wanted to farm. And so somehow we got hooked up through, I believe she passed her resume on to someone at UW who passed it along, and it got forwarded to me after about 12 forwards of different agency people and UW staff and whatnot. And so we decided to take a chance, and it worked out really well. I never thought that we would hire someone, and it was really hard to figure out when the right time was to expand to the point where we needed someone else. And I believe Anna was here for a week, and we had run out of everything I thought we were going to do over the summer. It was amazing how much more we got done just having an extra set of hands. And Anna's developed, and her skills are to the point where she can basically run everything now on the cattle side. So she feeds the cattle all winter, while I'm able to do other things and focus on some more of the marketing and relationships that we have with our restaurants. And she's responsible for moving the cattle every day and making sure that everybody's in good health and in good condition. And then we work together on a lot of things too. We'll build fence together. We'll do our health protocols and vaccines and pregnancy check-ins, those types of jobs that you need multiple hands for. But we wouldn't be where we were today if we didn't have Anna helping out, and it's really just made a world of difference in being able to accelerate where we wanted to be at this point.